physical topologies, networking devices, cables, IP addresses, how to check the IP address, what is the OS layer, TCP IP layer, TCP UDP differences, um, hub and switch differences, switch and router differences, router modem differences, what is VPN, okay, what is a VPN, what is proxy, what is DHCP, what is DNS, okay. So these are all overall important questions in the networking. So you cannot ignore the networking mainly, okay. So networking, service desk, and what is system configuration, what is how to check the IP address, okay. What is 32-bit 64-bit differences, what is the RAM and ROM differences, like that, okay. All basics they will be there in a interview, okay. Already I think I shared interview questions to you guys. So possible next time, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we'll discuss. We'll take 1.5 hours. Today I have worked then, so I didn't start. Okay, okay. So first of all, we are going to start with the OSI. What is OSI? Open System
Interconnection.
Interconnect. Open System Interconnect. So a lot of people think, okay, some people think from OS layer actually, some engineers build a OSI model, standardized it. So all the models come from the OSI model. For example, TCP IP model came from the OSI model, SPX IPX model, AppleTalk models, all these things from the OSI. Actually, these are all models, all are networking models, how to communicate in the network. So what is the protocol suites, like a TCP IP suites, are created, used earlier than a OSI model. Okay. So what is this use of this learning of OSI model? OSI model is a reference model, meaning is we don't use OSI model for communicating in the network. We never use the OSI model. Okay, it's just a reference model. Reference model means like a reference textbook, just only for reading purpose, not for a purchasing or a using, only for referring. So why, if you are not using at all, and it is not the base point, it is not, nothing is came from it. So what we have to do, why we should learn? Thing is, OSI model, okay, condenses 7 layers. Okay, so if you understand these 7 layer functions, so we can understand the function of network. And if you want to create a network, like you want to put a server, router, switches, and all kind of stuff. So how do you define what are the layers, how to communicate? Okay, so to create a network, or to create a model, or create a network, or create to write a program, also OSI model will help you. Okay, so troubleshooting the network. In the network, lot of issues will be there. Okay, in a network, lot of issues will be there. So to troubleshoot the network related issues, to understand the exact where the issue is occur. So in that case is also OSI layer is helpful. It is standardized by ISO, International Organization for Standardization. So it will give certified, like this is the standard best practice model, like that. Okay, there is of course a IEEE 802 is a journal number for your OSI model. Okay, so again, what is OSI? Open System Interconnect. It contains 7 layers. That's why it is called a 7 layer model. The 7 layers, like this, written from the 1 to 7 or 7 to 1. Guys, some of you may learn already OSI layer. Okay, maybe in your college or anywhere.
Yes, we have a subject operating system where OSI model in this.
Good. In a operating system or a network system or network communication, some subject will be there.
Yes, it can put a network.
Okay. So in this one, some people read like this. So as per that certain textbooks or a lecture. So first layer is like a application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. In some people, so they're studied differently, like a physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. So when you are here from one to another to textbook to another textbook, we'll get confused. The which way is correct way, either 7 to 1 or 1 to 7. The top layer is a seventh layer and the bottom layer is first layer. Okay. So which one is correct? Application layer to physical layer or physical layer to application layer? Which one is correct? Guys, both are correct. Both are correct. The which way you practiced already. Which way you practice already, that is the correct one. Okay. Either you practice from application layer to physical layer and you are full like a confidently you are able to tell from application layer to physical layer. That is good. For example, you are able to tell, like you are confidently you are able to tell from physical layer to application layer. That is also correct. Okay. So do not think it is wrong, that is wrong, this is correct, that is correct. There is nothing like. Only wrong is do not interchange the layers. Some people try to interchange the layer. So the first one is application layer, presentation layer, data link layer, session layer, a transport layer, physical layer, network layer, and like that they will interchange the layers. Some confusion will be there. So because of that one, this is the confusion. So okay. So do not get confusion, not required. So guys, try to read, try to remember. If you cannot able to remember, you like try at least read 2 3 times, then try to spell it. Okay, so keep telling, keep telling. So by that time, so then you will be more confident. So first time I learn, I am also not able to remember. So then we practice, 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 and now I'm teaching. That's why I can able to tell easily. Okay. So that is also very important. So application layer, presentation layer, session layer. So these three are called as a top layers or upper layers. Top layers or upper layers are a software layers. Software layers. Next, bottom three layers. Physical layer, data link layer, network layer. Physical layer, data link layer, network layer. So the physical layer is hub, switch, data link layer, and a network layer is a router. These three are called as a bottom layer. Okay, lower layers are a bottom layers and also called as a hardware layers. Bottom layers are hardware layers. Then what is this middle one? Transport layer is a end-to-end connectivity, heart of OSI layer. Heart of OSI layer. Okay, so if you know what is what, then you can easily remember. Or you can try to put some you can search in a Google also, you can find APSTENDP like that, so you can try also you can, but better to know all the layers. Which way you will remember that I don't mind about it, but must be remember. Practice by practice and by understanding you will remember very easily. If both are also not working, just do by heart, that's it. Okay, no problem. So application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport, network, data link layer, and physical layer. So here I have to explain application layer. So in the part of application layer, there is a protocols also there. Okay. In the part of application layer, there is a protocols are there. Guys, communicating. So what is the meaning of that communication, right? For example, you are want to ask your friend, can you give me the last class notes, right? What is your request? You are asking, give me a last class notes, or you are asking a friend, give me a 10 rupees. Okay, of course we don't ask 10 rupees. Okay, we ask much better. Okay, okay, we will ask like, give me a 10 rupees, I will give you tomorrow. So it is, you're asking something, right? To whom? To someone. To whom? For someone. And what you are asking? Okay, you are asking a notes, you are asking your money, or you are asking some any other special like a permission. You ask a your class teacher, right? So what is you will ask class teacher? Yeah, like can I leave now? Can I join now? So can you repeat this particular point, right? So communication means, so you are sending a request, or you are giving some information, or you are asking for some information. You are giving some information, or asking for some information. But how this person will understand what is your request, what is your information, what is your request? How you will understand? Understand by protocols only. For example, I have a server. This is a web server. So web server. Web server means it will has a website related pages. Web pages are there, right? And this is the client, web client. It means, what is a web client, guys? Browser. Web client is nothing but a browser. What is a web client? As equal to browser, I can access a website, right? So for example, w3schools.com. I will open the w3schools.com web page. It is displaying, right? How it is displaying? Because of I send a request with a HTTPS protocol. So I open a web browser. In the web browser, I put a HTTP or HTTPS and website name. Request go to the server. Server check that which protocol. HTTP. HTTP means web page request. As this web page is available, then it will send a response. Take this web page. I have another PC, and what he is sending is, I want to download a file or upload a file using protocol FTP. Okay, I want to upload or download the files to the server. Then this server checks what is the request, which protocol request it is, FTP request. Is this is a FTP server? No, means it will drop the packet. Okay, if it is a FTP server, then it may accept, and other things will be verified. But so this server is web server, means HTTP server. Okay, HTTP server, and it provide a web pages when client is asked for the web page. Client is asking for a web page by giving the protocol, by sending like HTTP request. It understand HTTP request and give the reply. Okay, whenever this web server means HTTP server, so received request, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. So whenever my FTP request, it is received my FTP request, so it is not belongs to FTP. What it will do? No, I am not belongs to it. For example, you went to your class teacher and madam, can you give me a 10 rupees? She won't give, right? So this is not our duty. So you can ask your father, but not a school teacher, right? Okay. So next one is one more point. So anything. For example, you are using mail communication, right? So mail means what you will do it from your PC. This is a server. You will send a mail and you will take a mail, right? You will send a mail. So while you are sending a mail from your PC, while you are sending a mail, use SMTP protocol. So this is the mail server. This is the mail server. So whenever it is received SMTP protocol, so it will understand, hey, this is someone is asking, someone is sending a mail. So first it will understand this client is sending a mail related request. Okay. Now this client want to take the mail, like want to open the mail account or open the mail and try to receive the mail. So what it will do, you'll send a request like this, pop request, pop3 or a IMAP version 4 request. Means this client is asking, I want to, sorry, actually this is not, yeah, okay. The client is sending either POP3 or IMAP request to the server. I want to download my mails. I want to download a mails. Then it was server will understand by seeing this protocol. Okay, client is request for a downloading a mail. So guys, very simple. I think people get confused. I think so, but I don't know. See, it is my client. This is my server. My server is mail server. Client is mail client, of course. Client send a request. Client send a request with a protocol called SMTP protocol. Then server is understand. Client try to send a mail. Okay, to send a mail, outgoing mail it is. So the related response the server will provide, like accepting kind of stuff. Next, server the client want to see what is the mails in the mailboxes. They will send a request, either POP3 or a IMAP based on the configuration. So based on which configuration you are using, like so client send a request, POP3 request. Server understand. Okay, client is asking a mail to download into their PC. So then the server will send a mails. So then we can download into our PC. Okay, guys, this is the use of protocols. In generally, protocols came, then people will tell protocol means it is a set of rules. That's it. But what are those set of rules? What is the rules? Okay. What is the use of that rules? What is sorry. What is the use of that rules? Okay, set of rules. Understand what is the request from the client and the server. Okay, what type of communication is a main part of your protocols. Okay, these rules, what are the rules? It is not a raise a hand, stand up on the bench. This is not protocols. Okay, in my college they told this kind of rules. Okay, by telling these protocols. But protocols means what it is? when you are sending a request, okay, so client to server communication, when you are, okay, what kind of communication it is, what kind of request it is, okay, so to understand it, so we use the protocols. For example, HTTP protocol for a web pages, FTP, okay, for a file server for uploading and downloading files, SMTP protocol for sending mails, okay, POP3 or IMAP for receiving a mail. So I want to receive a mail, then I have to send a request, POP3 or IMAP. NTP network synchronization, LDAP authentication, SSH and Telnet is a remote access purpose. Okay. So guys, go through these protocols and the port numbers. Just I will be in a minute. Okay. Okay, read those things.
Like, what is difference between HTTP and HTTPS?
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Sometimes. Yeah, I got. Yeah, I heard you one question. That is, what is the difference between HTTP and HTTP? Yes. Right. Very good. HTTP Hypertext Transmission Protocol. Okay. HTTPS means it's a over SSL. Means HTTP, like if you are using a website, it is only HTTP, means the what are the data you are sending and receiving, and the content in the website, it is purely open to everyone. Okay, for example, you have a bank account. You have a bank account. Okay, so or a email account. So what happened here? What are the mails you are sending or receiving? Or maybe you have a bank account, you open a IDBA bank or a ICICI bank or a Axis bank or any bank. Whenever you open a bank, so then immediately it will show us like this. Um, like, you know, whenever you open a bank, why we are using bank website? For transferring money, right? So, or maybe to check the account balance or like this. We are using internet banking, right? So if in case if it is not encrypted, so what happened? Data is open for everyone. So for those particular website purposes, okay, so this HTTPS is start using mainly HTTPS for a HTTP data, whatever the website data transmission from the client to server, server to the client, the data is in the regular HTML or a plain text format only. Okay, so to secure this data, so the website web servers, the person who is built that web server, they encrypt this data over a SSL certification. Okay, so the data is secure mainly for whenever you are using a mail communication or a social media communication or maybe banking websites. So compulsory HTTPS required. Okay, so HTTP and HTTPS. So both are same. Both are same. Both are for a website purpose only, but it is for SSL secure data. Okay. And what is these port numbers? Guys, port numbers are numerical representation of protocols. Numerical representation of protocols. FTP 2021, like that. Okay. So SSH, Telnet, RDP, these three protocols are used to remote access purpose. In that one, Telnet is a plain text again, so no encryption used in a Telnet. For example, I have a remote PC. Again, I have a remote PC is there, like a server maybe, for example, or maybe a router. So yeah, remote device. So I can connect it to this device. I can connect it to this device from my terminal, like a command prompt using Telnet. Using Telnet, I'll send a request. This is the Telnet client. This is the Telnet client, and this is the Telnet server. Okay, this is a Telnet server. This is Telnet server, and this is Telnet client. So I'll send a Telnet related request that the Telnet server check the authentication, username and password. It will check the username, password, connection request. Okay, then so we can control this PC. Configuration means directly what are the commands we type here. What are the commands we type here? It executes here. It executes here. We are typing here, execute here. For example, here I created a file F1. F1 will be created in this location. Okay, that is called a remote connection, remote access, or a remote configuration. We can also say using Telnet we can access. The Telnet is basically text-based remote access. Similarly, SSH. Then what is the difference between Telnet and SSH? Both are for a remote access. Both are a text-based. So whenever you connect it, so this is the SSH server. Okay, it means server side of this part. Okay, SSH, and this is the client. Open by opening a terminal or a command prompt. You can use SSH command to connect this server, so then we can able to access the server configuration, server information, or you want to create something, you want to install something, okay, you want to modify something, you can everything, you can do it from this PC. Okay, so what is the difference between telnet and SSH? Telnet mainly both are remote access, both are text based only, okay, command prompt based only. Point is, Telnet is a no encryption net. So Telnet don't have any encryption. It's a plain text format. So if anyone in the network sit and open the what is the data is transmitting from the client to server using a Telnet protocol, so he can read the data. Okay. In SSH, it is not like that. Whenever you are accessing remote server, you are giving some commands, you are sending some messages, right, you are creating some file. Okay, when you are accessing remotely using SSH, the data transmission from client to server and server to client is encrypted. Okay, next one is RDP, remote desktop protocol. It is different from SSH and telnet. SSH and telnet is a text based remote access, but RDP is not like that. What is an RDP? I have some Windows system is there, for example. Okay, Windows server or a Windows client, something will be there. So I can access this desktop from server to the client. Okay, from here, like whatever the things is here, so I can access, I can see from here. Okay, this is I am accessing this desktop from here. Okay, so I can see their icons, I can see their applications, I can open the applications, run the applications from this window only. So that is called a RDP, remote desktop protocol. Remote desktop protocol. This is text based text, this is GUI based, directly graphical. Next, these three protocol, SMTP, POP3 and IMAP version 4. SMTP, simple mail transmission protocol. For send a mail, like I want to send a mail, I use outgoing mail as a SMTP protocol. I want to receive a mail from the server. I want to pull the mail from the server. So then I will send a request. I want my mail using POP3 or a IMAP. Okay, little difference is there between a POP3 and IMAP is POP3 is like a post office protocol. It will download the complete mail from the server to client, like it is a cut and paste type. IMAP is not like that. It is a more like a copy paste. It does not download complete mail. It is only the partial mail content or a link of the mail. TFTP, trivial file transfer protocol. It is also a file transfer protocol, but not regular file upload and download kind of stuff. To remote configuration. Okay, there is a server. I want to configure remotely, TFTP protocol. I want to upload a configuration file, or I want to take a backup of remote server configuration. In that cases, we use TFTP. 1 second. Uh, sorry. Dynamic host configuration protocol, DHCP. We have a different devices, right? So we have a mobile phones, you have a laptops, tablets, and everything is there, right? So we are all getting an IP address from something like a router. In generally, our Wi-Fi router act like a DHCP server. Okay, of course. What is the DHCP server means? What is DHCP? Dynamic host configuration protocol. It it assign an IP address to your devices. Okay, you have a mobile phone. You connect it to your Wi-Fi router. Then automatically DHCP service will assign an IP address to your mobile phone. Your laptop is connected to your Wi-Fi, then automatically you'll get an IP address. Same as goes for a desktop or any device. Once it is connected, then it is DHCP server or it is a DHCP service. What it will do? It provide an IP address to the client PCs, or it will configure IP address to client PC. Provide means little different is there. Or you can say assign IP address to the clients automatically. Next is a DNS. Next is a DNS. Because for example, I want to open a website, right? Like a w3schools.com or a google.com or youtube.com or a savantis.com or microsoft.com, right? But how to communicate that server, how to reach a google.com, how to reach a facebook.com, how to reach a youtube.com, how to reach the microsoft.com, how to reach these places by their IP address. But we don't know IP address of google.com or IP address of facebook.com or IP address of microsoft.com. Like that, we don't know their IP addresses, right? You can't remember all the IP addresses of the host, like you cannot able to remember all the phone numbers of your family, friends, okay, anybody's. You cannot remember, remember all the phone numbers. What we will do it, we will create a contact list. So you open the contact, so you will find a mobile number, right? Phone number. Similarly, our client system send a request. So I want to open, for example, w3schools.com website. I want a w3schools.com IP address. So I send a request to this DNS server. Okay, I want IP address of w3schools.com IP address w3schools.com to the this DNS server. DNS server. So do so much of story is there? Not now. So that's why I'm telling. What is DNS will do it? DNS will search for this name, which is and IP address which is belongs to this server. Finally, I received the IP address of this w3schools.com. So finally, it received an IP address of w3schools.com. Now it will contact that w3schools.com. No, directly again able to send a request to the okay. So to w3schools.com server. Okay, guys. So what is a DNS? DNS also giving an IP address, but it maps name to IP address. So when we are communicating in the internet, so we don't remember all the IP addresses. So for a to communicate with an IP address, we need an IP address. We will giving this IP address for a particular domains is nothing but a DNS. DNS is a domain name system. It is a server which maps name to IP address. Whenever the client requests IP address for a particular name. So it will returns an IP address. It returns an IP address. Okay, so if you don't get it also, it is not a very big deal. So we'll try once again. So what is the DNS? It will give IP address of name or an IP address of host or a thing to client. So we cannot able to communicate with the names. We have to communicate with the numbers, right? So the who is giving this number in a mobile phone example, contact list. In here, DNS server. NTP server, network time protocol. It synchronizes the time between server and client. You know, guys, we're all getting a date and time from times.windows.com website. So you want to see? So I'm going to adjust date and time. Okay, add additional clocks kind of stuff or anything. Internet time. So it is time.windows.com. Meaning is the time is synchronizing. My time is synchronizing with the Microsoft times.windows.com server. So which protocol? NTP protocol. SNMP protocol. SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. It is a very simple, but if you know that it is very important protocol in the monitoring. Okay, it sends a data, so then their agent will give you some traps kind of stuff information. Okay, mainly SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol, use it to monitor the network function. Next one is Kerberos LDAP. Okay, Kerberos and LDAP are for a authentication purpose. Mainly Kerberos used in a Microsoft Active Directory. Again, guys, so these are the different protocols. Next one is there is a lot of protocols are there. More than 1,000 protocols are available. Okay, in a registered protocols are port numbers are there. But these are a more repeated protocols like HTTP, HTTPS. Daily we are using HTTP or HTTPS. HTTPS for a secure or SSL type. FTP protocol, upload and download a file. SSH protocol, Telnet protocol, SSH, Telnet, RDP, remote access purpose. SMTP, POP3, IMAP, mail communication purpose. TFTP, remote configuration. DHCP for remote assigning IP address to the clients. DNS. Okay, so when a client required an IP address for a particular domain or a host, you will return the IP address. NTP for a network time protocol used to synchronize time between NTP server and the client. Okay, Kerberos and LDAP are used to authenticate a purpose, and SNMP, simple network management. Repeated protocols only. Okay, so if you read these protocols and I said I know all the protocols, means no. But these are the very basic protocols, and also remember the port numbers: HTTP 80, HTTPS 443, FTP 2021, SSH 22, Telnet 23, RDP 3389, SMTP 25, POP 3110, and IMAP version 4143, TFTP 69, DHCP 67, 68, DNS is 53, and NTP 123, Kerberos 88, LDAP 389, SNMP 190, 161, 162. Guys, again, so how many are there? So many numbers are there. How to remember? Okay, so yes, why is the links are all these things? Remember part. Guys, by practice, by understanding, by grouping, so we can remember these protocols and their port numbers. Okay. Can easily remember. Only thing is you need to read it and practice. memorizing, practicing. Okay, so the first layer is called application layer. Only two layers I will tell: application layer, presentation layer, guys. Then I will give you a small break and then we'll start again. Okay, so at least OSI layer first we will finish, and I'll give you a small introduction to I'll give you a small introduction to what we can say. IP address. Okay, so application layer. So client and server applications. What are the things in the application layer? I open a website in the web browser, right? This is Google Chrome web browser. It's an example for a application layer. So application layer is at very top layer, right? It means I'm maxing means direct main interface. So web browser is an example for a client side application. Server side web servers. Okay, like here it is Google Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge. Okay, so these are web browsers, right? Web servers. Microsoft in IIS, okay, Internet Information Service, HTTPD, Apache HTTPD, Apache Tomcat, Glassfish, okay, like that. So many web servers are available. Outlook. So this is my Outlook. In Outlook, I can send and receive the mails. So Outlook is a mail client. Outlook is a mail client. Then what is the mail server? So Microsoft Exchange mail server, Zimbra mail server, like that. I have an app called a Putty app. Putty. What is this Putty? Putty is an application to connect remote SSH servers or to connect a telnet, like all these things. Okay. Okay. So you want to access remote SSH server or telnet, so you can use Putty app like that. I have a FTP server. Then I want to upload and download an application, so I can use FTP command prompt or an application like a FileZilla, Qt FTP, Duck FTP kind of stuff. So here it is. The application layer is actually dealing with a client side application and server side applications, protocols, and their port numbers also. If you are using an application, that's it. No. So in application is important, protocol important, and their of course port number is important. Okay. So the application layer is going to take care of your protocols, port number, and your which application you are using on which protocol on that one which protocol you are using. Okay, that is also important. So this is called a application layer. Next one is the presentation layer, guys. So when you are accessing the data, like you are sending a request or receiving it, so your data can be in any different formats. For example, web browsers use HTML basic data, right? Basic. It can be any different, like text, JPG, pictures are there in the websites, right? Or maybe you are for updating or uploading or downloading a picture, whatsoever it is. So data can be any format, MP3 format or MVF format or maybe FLV format or any format. The data should be converted into ASCII format, that is called a encoding. And when you are receiving data is in the ASCII format, it will decode and we will receive the data. Okay, encoding, decoding. Next, compression and decompression. So huge amount of data is very difficult to transfer. So then we'll compress the data while you are sending the data. When you are receiving, we decompress the data. Encrypting, de-encrypting. So already we discussed about encrypting. So, but I will tell once. So presentation layer, it encrypts the data like you are using SSH or maybe any HTTPS protocols or like that. So what it will do, it encrypt the data while it is sending, and at receiving it will decrypt the data and it will forward the packet to the main system. Session layer, create a session, maintain a session, terminate the session. Okay, so I've opened a web page like this, for example, or maybe I open this one. So when I click on this one, a session is established. Okay, it forward to the server. At server side, it will deliver the data. So, and when it is received, so it will verify with the again I discontinued. Okay, so when we are sending a request, server received a request. Okay, server will receive a request and verify the request. What happening here? Okay, when you are sending a request and you are receiving it, so the session will be created. Okay, so you are sending a request, session is created, and it will be maintained till the session is completed. For example, your internet is got some disturbance like a loose connection kind of stuff. Session will be terminated. Okay, so the session layer will create a session when new session is generated, when new page is open. So automatically it will create a new session and maintain, and finally terminate once no longer it is. Okay. So like you want to download a 10 MB file, 1 MB downloaded, 2 MB downloaded, 3 MB downloaded. The session will be completed once everything is downloaded, then it is downloaded. Yes, next one is a transport layer. As I said, take a small break, a 10-15 minutes break. Don't sleep. We'll continue from the transport layer as a part 2. Okay.